Oh, they beaming me. Ooh.
If I can get like an EMP on them, then I'll push because they'll be staggered. I staggered like 3 there.
Yeah, let's go, let's go.
Just trying to apply deep.
I'm going above them, I'm just
Go
beaming
ahead.
them from the top.
You have the heals in front of you.
One's dead already.
One's
Two dead.
shredded.
Healer dead.
Healers work. I've got quite a few on a debuff. They just got pested. Just died.
You wanna go?
But I'm reloading.
Let's go. Follow me. Let's go. Go.
Coming.
Got
Is that
they're
more
gonna
up
come
there or
out
what?
behind us in the checkpoint. Just be careful.
Yeah, we just wipe these guys and then we're good.
Pulse. Like on debuffs.
Big shit explosion.
Nice.
Is that what just killed
No,
me?
is it TP
Yeah.
and fucking and pistol?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
We get more.
Push
go,
him,
out,
push him.
Push out.
It's alright. He's on a blue and white.
Alright, go.
It's alright. We can hold the hallway now.
We can't hold this all the way. We need to
Oh,
come back.
Water's gonna hit you.
Stand over here. We stand over here. Just wait.
Watch out.
That's fine. I've got shield.
You're gonna run
I'm
back in the
close.
stairway.
We can go.
Heal
We
your
can
shield
we
to
can
full.
go all the way around, and then go back upstairs.
Let them push here. We'll shit on them. I'm gonna fucking EMP stack these kids right here. They're dead. Like, what are you doing?
Watch out.
Yeah, I've got
Yeah,
clear
you
what
just
you're
got
doing.
stick, by the way.
Reloading my pesty. Reloading.
Mortar.
I'm good. I've got explosive res.
I'm EMPing that shit. I'm EMPing that.
Yeah, I would, but my MP just went through the floor.
Fuck.
Picked on.
I'm like.
I got has. I
low
got has.
ten.
I'm good. I'm
holding
good.
them. I'm holding them hard.
You're on a med through the wall, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm gonna push this guy in.
I'm
I don't have fucking chems for shit because of
VPN.
the bug where.
Come on, come on,
Top,
VP
there,
there.
there. Pick me up. Pick me up. Pick me up.
I'll cover. I'll cover. I'll cover.
Go.
Alright, we hold staircase now.
One's gone on the right here.
Got a fire nade in. Fire nade.
One's down. One's down.
Shot a fire nade at them.
What is this?
Oh
Oh my
thing?
god, yeah.
What do you mean?
The fire nade's not even going off. The
What do
fire
you mean
nade-
don't push up? Just a quick one tap. He's dead.
One's weak, one's weak.
Mortar. Move.
I got it.
Oh my god, I got staggered. Oh, bullshit. I've got one more med. I'm just keep fire nade in. One's pushing. I'm med getting.
The mortar gone. Yeah.
Definitely need
Okay,
assistance
shield, break
because
it, shield.
like,
Oh my god. This.
we don't have a healer right now, so you know
Yeah.
doesn't help as much for the tardigrade. We one tap by a mortar anyways.
Uh,
No,
I EMP'd a bunch of everybody.
mortar.
Yeah, it's just cringe.
Last cannon mortar. Yeah. It's...
I need some med here.
Yeah, everyone, what's going on? Welcome to another build video. Today is going to be my take on the classic pistol build. That is a pistol, headshot, hazard protection combination, big shield, of course. And with a little twist, my one is a little bit different than most people's. I designed it first and foremost to counter basically as much of the bullshit that this game provides. And this game provides plenty of that kind of stuff. So, quick snapshot of the build right here. Lots of hazard protection, Sawyer's knee pad, 2 great defensive pieces with a big shield. I mean, yeah, that should go without saying for a pistol build. And 80 hazard protection base. Now that is 80, but I generally speaking run with 2 disrupt mods. One of them here and one of them on the bag. I have bleed on there right now, but I'll get to that in a minute because I'm going to show you a couple different variants of this build. There isn't just one way you have to build this. There are actually a number of different combinations. The only thing that I would say has to be in the build, and it should go without saying to be frank, is the punch drunk. Named item is actually light zone only. I was got it wrong the other day. I spent 3 hours farming in the DZ only to find out that, well, it was light zone only. So don't make the same mistake as me. Farm it properly. So you're going to want on every single one of your rolls, headshot and hazard protection, every single piece. No other. No, I mean, of course, the Sawyer's knee pad roll with fixed attributes, which are really nothing to do with what you want them to do. If I could have hazard in here, oh my god, this build would be absolutely amazing. But unfortunately, you've got to make sacrifices. Not that you should be doing that with exotics, to be honest. Of course, headshot hazard. The second most valuable and important piece will be the Jarl. And for any build that has hazard protection, the first piece you want to look at is going to be Jarl on top of all of the hazard protection rolls. I do lose 10% from here, which is unfortunate because I am speccing to Cheska to gain an additional 10% hazard. So having it on all my rolls, Jarl and Cheska, and on my watch that nets me 80%, which is enough to counter a tier 0 foam without any status effects. If people do, hold on a minute, guys. Hold on. Do you mind? Anyway, I'm kind of busy here.
What you doing here?
I make video, guys. Don't interrupt me.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No problem. Just do your thing. As I was saying, so you do want headshot and hazard absolutely everywhere. I say these are the two most important pieces. You don't have to go with 2 Cheska. If you sacrifice the Sawyer's D-pad, you can essentially gain 10% hazard and then drop the 2 Cheska for something that you might prefer. Well, what other pieces could you roll? I did choose to go with Hunter Killer on my chest. That is because you do get the extra 5% amplify, but it isn't absolutely necessary. A lot of you will not have this. You may not have farmed your hunters in New York, or you may not have a friend who is leveling up new characters. For those of you who don't know, you can get your Hunter Killer the way I did. I haven't done my New York hunters. I can't be asked doing that shit. It's boring. I don't want to look up video tutorials to get a piece of gear. It's just not my thing. But I have a friend who has done it, and when they level up a new character, they get to open the chest again. Essentially, one of the times he got a full hazard with a really bad armor roll, and I had to optimize that. But I got my Hunter Killer from a friend. You can too. So if you don't have it, you can replace it with a Cheska, a Jarl, or a Providence. I don't have a Providence in this, and for a headshot build, you might be wondering why. Well, I used to have Providence on this, but because I value the Sawyer's knee-pad really highly, and this essentially provides a similar amount of damage from the extra 5% amplify compared to the 15 headshot, considering I already have a lot of headshot on my pistol, but this applies it to the body, so when I'm fighting another shield player or if I'm taking down a skill, the Perfect Intimidate does actually help a little more, because Providence only helps on the headshot. Sometimes you need to shoot people in the body, and this would also help with the shotgun, which is also great when I'm chasing players and they start running around. This is why I use shotguns as my other weapons, and no ranged weapon at all. If I need to shoot somebody at range, I'll use the pistol. It is basically a sniper rifle in your pocket. So, yeah, 2 Cheska is there for the extra hazard protection. But yeah, let me quickly show you another way. Let's say, for instance, you don't like Sawyer's knee-pad, you don't want to have to charge it, and you want a more consistent level of damage. It's absolutely fine. You can drop it. Oh, for God's sake. I'll drop it for a Cheska. Mate, NPCs, look. See, look how I don't get foamed. Guys, come on. Be reasonable. I'm busy here. You're not even going to peek, are you? Oh, my God. Ah, dear. What are we going to do with you, mate? What are we going to do with you? Dead. Easy 1v1. Goodness gracious me. No respect, have they? Absolutely no respect, these NPCs. As I was saying, you could basically put your Cheska in a different slot and then trade one of these for a Providence, which should give you the headshot damage and the hazard, at which point you only need to run 1 Disrupt mod to be completely immune to Disrupt. Yes, that's right. If you have 90 base hazard protection, with 1 mod you can have Disrupt, another mod you can have Bleed. For the servers that people are running, a lot of Ridgeways in, or if they're running Hives, or any other form of bleed, it's really useful to lose a little bit of headshot damage to be completely immune. Let's say a player is running a Wicked SMG or Wicked AR or whatever, with the bleed chest. If you deny them the opportunity to bleed you, you can essentially front for your team, or if you're playing solo, and if you meet the guy on his first encounter, he's not going to proc Wicked on you. His Sadist isn't going to proc either, so you're going to be denying what? 20% amplify and 18% total, which is also multiplicative damage, 38% multiplicative damage. It's a lot of damage to lose out on, and you can deny them that with this build. Because Bleed SMG is one of the things that will definitely rip your shield to shreds, because when people learn that they can't get you a status, and they will try to get you a status, when their EMP sticky doesn't work with your Sawyer's knee-pad and your 100% disrupt, when they can't foam you, when they can't put you on fire, they go, shit, what do I do? And they just default back to damage, and they're going to come back and damage you, and bleed is one of the ways that people do that. Of course, you can't protect against critical hit damage. That used to be a thing back in the day with crit chance mitigation, but they removed that from the game, unfortunately. With a heavy crit meta right now, it would be lovely to have. So basically, your only crit mitigation is a shield. in terms of protecting you from the body, but the shield itself is, well, has no resistance to the crit. But this is another way that you can run things. I'm going to say right now, it is very difficult to find the blue pieces of Prov and Cheska with Headshot and Hazard. These are, I only found these quite recently. I mean, this one I've had for a little while. Found it at DZ, optimized it a shit ton. And this one as well, I optimized it an absolute shit ton earlier today. I wasn't using this before today because the way that I run it is with the Cheska on the holster and the Soyuz knee pad. Because I do like those times, especially when you have a DZ fight where you have uptime and downtime, so like a moment between the fights where you can sort of stand still in a power position and get that 30% stack with a Soyuz knee pad, and then when players start pushing you, you can just charge at them with 30% damage and do way more damage than you would if you built it this way. Of course, if you are running into multiple different status effects, skill tier 5 and above, or just status effects rolled on every piece, even with skill tier 2 or 3 with status effects rolled everywhere, it's really strong, the status. I have a couple of builds like that, and it's really annoying to fight, but this build pretty much counters everything. It says it in the title. I've shown you in the gameplay at the beginning, with it fighting against Mortar, fighting against the EMP Sticky, and a couple other things. And at the end of this video, I also have a segment showing how it works against the foam. So you can run it this way round. Of course, you don't have the Hunter Killer. You can just chuck on any other piece that you have, a second Jarl, or if you have a Matador backpack, you get the extra armor from Adrenaline Rush. You could run a second Golan and have 1% armor regen. You could run it the Vergence way, which is the Virgin build by my friend Zergence. Link will be in the description below. It's quite an old build. It's been around for a while and very popular on PC due to the, obviously better aiming on the mouse. Single shot weapons like the pistol do shine. I don't want to say they're skillful, but for a headshot build, you do need to, well, hit headshots, don't you? Yeah, you can go with crit, but then if you go with crit, you either have far too low crit damage or you sacrifice hazard protection. The idea I had with this build is to build it to be, well, to counter everything else. It's not really, I don't go into the server with this build. This is a reactionary build. I respond with this build when other people use certain things. And often in PvP, I am forced to bring out this build because I don't want to deal with fire. I don't want to deal with EMP spam. I don't want to deal with snipers. The hard counter to sniper is Big Shield. And I might be getting back into sniping soon, but as of now, I haven't really got a sniper build. I don't like fighting it. It's really boring to die to one shot. I don't think one-shot mechanics should be common in Division, but that's a story for another day. So if you want to run it the Vergence way, this is basically with armor regen. So if you do have the Hunter Killer, this is fantastic, because at this point you're only adding one Golan, and then you take your Cheska off. You have to sacrifice a little bit of hazard protection, but you're also sacrificing crit chance that you just don't need. You're going to want to put the Murakami knee pads with hazard protection, because you want to retain your hazard. You don't want to be losing 20 hazard. Definitely don't lose too much hazard. And then on the gloves, you want to go with Bellstone, which I believe I have here. Not quite fully maxed out, but close enough. This way, my hazard actually drops. So you would have to either choose bleed immunity or disrupt immunity. I personally think that disrupt immunity is far more valuable. That means that people are going to run up to you and EMP you, or you can even EMP yourself and not lose your shield for a split second. Because with the time to kill in this game being so incredibly quick, all it takes is an EMP sticky, even when you have 70 hazard protection. And if you get EMP'd for 2-3 seconds, it is plenty enough time for someone to rock up with a with a Lady Death Intimidate and go brrr, especially if they're running the full multiplicative. Even if they're running the hazard version with the crit damage, they're still going to melt you. Having complete immunity to disrupt and the EMP sticky bomb is so strong. That's why I choose for Soyuz knee pad on my version, but you can go the Vergence way. However, if you do run it this way, which is a very strong, very common build on PC, I'm surprised it's not really more popular on console. It must be purely because of the fact that people can't hit the headshots with the pistol as easily as someone can burst down your shield, which of course is a massive target. You ain't missing it. It's just on PC, people will normally dink you 3 times before you can do that. So that's why it's so popular here. I would recommend to drop the Demolitionist and go with the Technician for the extra skill tier. You would have, if you have 5 blues, a max skill tier shield, which makes it very tanky. And you would gain the 12% damage to shields and other skill proxies. This means that when you are faced in a 1v1 shield fight, you can break their shield. I have fought with my version of the shield build with Demolitionist, which is immune to all these fire and other things, and I've fought against another shield build who are running, well, the Vergence build with the armor regen and of course the extra skill tier, and I can't win. If the guy knows how to play to the strengths of his spec, he will beat me, and I find it quite frustrating. So you may want to have a couple different variants of these. One with a demo for the fire and all the other status effects, and then have one version for, well, if you decide that you want to main this build, you can run it with Technician. If you do run it with Technician, I don't want to be that guy to promote it, but it is common sense. Unfortunately, there is no other skill other than the Chem Launcher that allows you to run and hold it out. Well, what's the benefit of holding it out? Of course, you would go with Foam with this build. You could go Firestarter, but Foam is the obvious choice here. Total Cancer, I don't like using it, but a lot of other people simply don't care. And usually when you do pull out this build, it's because the whole server has pulled out their own flavour of Cancer. Why not match it with your own? You know what I mean? So, yeah, you could do that. When you pull out your Chem Launcher, you gain 50% armor, bonus armor, every time you whip it out with Technician. It is a great tactic. You can whip it out, put it away if you're taking status effect damage, or if you're running away, repositioning, or if you're strafing and you've already got your guns reloaded, and you're trying to wait till the guy is on low on the mag. You can whip out your Chem Launcher in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, and just constantly get armor on top of your Intimidate, and you can sustain an absolute shit ton. This is very good. Where if you do run it that way, you can actually afford to drop some of your blues for reds and go for a more consistent 2-shot. Yes, with 1 red and headshot damage everywhere, you hit around 700k with the Regulus, which is basically a 2-3 tap. A 2 tap on a weaker guys, 3 tap on the more average player, maybe even a 4 tap because, you know, sometimes they do burn your armor, you won't have Intimidate, and you will lose 40% temporarily until your next proc arrives, which will be within a couple of seconds. But you can, you know, shoot 2 or 3 shots without your Intimidate. Sometimes you're only going to be dealing about 500k, and yeah, you'll notice your damage drop off, and then you're not going to be able to 2 or 3 tap, you'll be more like 4 or 5 tap, and with a revolver that only has 6 rounds, yeah, you've got to be clinical. Which is why I think a lot of people don't run this, because even though the shield allows you to take your time with your shots, if you don't take your shots, you're caught reloading, they break your shield, you're forced to then use your shotgun, run away, retreat behind your team, or wait for another shield. And would you guys mind your own fucking business? Jesus Christ. Please. You, stop shooting me. Over flicking like a motherfucker because I'm recording at 2K and I've recently had to lower my resolution to 1080p just for consistent frames because the performance on PC is just outright terrible. Anyway, as I was saying, not that I have much more to say. Obviously for the mods, just go with health everywhere. Can I not change my mods? No, because it's taking damage. For here, duration is absolutely fine. Skill haste is definitely an option. If you have a better skill haste mod than you have a duration, go with skill haste. But duration is actually somewhat useful. No, it does not affect your status effect duration. Don't get that twisted. This duration right here is not for the status effect duration. It doesn't list it in PvE or PvP because devs don't have a clue how to, you know, display information so that people understand how the game works. You have to test and figure it out yourself, or have somebody like me tell you how it works. If you want to test your duration, go to the DZ, fire it on a friend, see how much hazard protection they got, and time it. It's the only way to find out. This will affect the duration of the projectile on the floor. Often, why that might be useful is somebody shoots you real hard, and let's say you're fighting not in the open but around a corner, and this is a choke point, like a lane. You could essentially do that, go around the corner, medkit, and then when they turn on the corner, stagger them, whip out your shield, fight. Use it as a defensive measure rather than an offensive measure. Most people use EMP Sticky offensively, but don't forget, you can use it defensively. Always use everything for the best situation. So this is the Vergence build combo version of it. Now you might be wondering my shotguns. I haven't quite covered my shotguns yet. Well, I choose to go with the MX-70, highest damage pump action shotgun, and then of course the KSG. What do you mean? What do you mean of course the KSG? Wait, a KSG with breadbasket? Crypto, what the fuck are you doing? Alright, I shouldn't have to explain myself here with the MX-70 and Optimist. It's just a reliable talent that doesn't need any proccing, not in sync that I have to rely on the sticky. Of course, in sync shotgun can't be used with the shield, so that's out the window. Optimist is just a talent that works no matter what. All you have to do is, well, shoot your mag out. I mean, if I run out with my pistol, what I'll do is I'll swap to my M870, have my luck with the 5 shells and super high damage. If it doesn't work out, at which point my target should be weak, I should be following him, or perhaps I'm fighting a very awkward player who's very good at strafing. And often when I'm fighting players on PC, you do find a few sweaty players here and there, and this is when I typically will bring out a build like this, because they've probably brought it out before me, and I'm like, well, fuck this, you're gonna go shield, I'm gonna go shield, you know, you gotta fight fire with fire. But when you do find those really sweaty strafing players, having a shotgun with high magazine capacity is very useful. It allows you to keep the pressure up, especially if they're playing catch up. You know, you've hit a headshot or two with the regulars, their adrenaline rush soaked up a lot of it, so they're only half armor. You try to follow up with the M870, you hit 1 or 2 shells at the beginning of your mag, but then you missed the last 3 because they're strafing, right? It's not easy to hit players on PC the way that they move, even with mouse aim, right? And then another 12 shots, man, if you fail to kill the guy by then, the guy's got really good movement, or your aim just wasn't that good in the moment, especially in hectic fights where your FPS might be dropping. That can be a problem. Even on console, I think you guys still get FPS drops, which is really shouldn't be a thing, because those things, you know, the console is really well optimized. But anyway, that's a topic for another day. Optimization. Ugh, this game, so bad of it. Breadbasket. How does it work? Well, essentially, if you hit 1 shell, not even 1 shell, 1 pellet to the body, depending on which pellet, I believe they are all given a value of 1 to 8. Because the game is hit scan, all pellets hit at the same time, but because of the value that is assigned in the background, you know, in the code, sometimes you consume a stack of breadbasket before you get it back. Sometimes you add a stack before it's consumed. So if you have 1 stack of breadbasket after shooting the body, and then you shoot a guy in the neck, so some pellets hit the head and some hit the body, you might end up going to a 2 stack, and then the body shots. Sorry, you might the body shot might go up to a 2 stack, and then the headshot will consume 2 stacks, giving you 70% headshot damage. But if you hit 3 clean body shots and then 1 to the head, again, the potential damage is really why this talent is good. 1, it's a passive talent. You don't have to worry about proccing it like in sync. Yes, you could go with Optimist. That would also be a good shout. But I feel like Breadbasket is just a nice talent to have. Plus, when people look at your build, yeah, they're like, what the fuck? But it is really good. You know, a potential of 105 headshot damage. And if you look at the build, oh, NPC's about to get me again. I have 135 headshot damage with the Vergence variant. Well, that was more clinical shooting. That's more like me. Yeah, anyway, I don't really run the Vergence variant. This is the Mandalorian. That's what I called it, because it does have a lot of things going for it, like the Sawyer's knee pad and the potential of the EMP. You do go with Demolitionist if you want the 20% burn resistance. That is why I do have 100% burn. But you can go with a Technician. It's absolutely fine. I have covered pretty much all the variants of this build, how to use it, the situations you will come up against. The clips at the beginning and the clip at the end will summarize in total how this build really does work. It is a top tier build, but a very scummy build. It is a toxic, it is a cancer build. Like I said, I don't go into a server with this build. Unless I go in, I inspect people when I see they're using similar kind of, you know, toxic builds, at which point I will match fire with fire before it happens. I don't want to have to die to something. If I know it's going to happen, I will switch beforehand. But please, guys, have this build in your inventory. Make it. It's not the easiest build in the world to make. You do want to have at least 4 blues, in my opinion. 4 blues with decent aim should mean you should get a kill with 1 mag, at least 1 kill. But the chain reactions, as you saw in the beginning, mate, you can have a lot of fun. Get a teammate with True Patriot in your team, yeah? Get a healer on your team, and you're going to have some fun with this build, I tell you, mate. Boom, boom, boom. Explosions everywhere, man. Chain reactions. If you find yourself at the door, it does shine at the door. I know, door camping, not a great thing, but, you know, sometimes you have to deal with toxic people in a toxic way. And if you don't do that, I'm sorry, mate, you're a sucker. And I've learnt my lessons in a DZ. You know, you either hate the DZ or you live long enough to become toxic yourself. That's pretty much how it goes. But yeah, that's the end of it. I've spoken for long enough. Cheers, guys, for watching. If there's anything I missed, I probably did miss something. This is my 4th or 5th time recording due to some issues earlier in the day. And, well, I think I got it right this time. In a bit, people. In a bit.
Back up.
There's a lot of them there.
I'm throwing a fire nade and medicating around the corner.
Yeah, I'm going back. Something's going to go wrong and I'm going to die. Like, getting foamed and focused. They're all pushing.
Yep.
Go back. You can't. You can't. If you get caught there, you have to run. Boom, big shield.
Fuck it, fucking bot. Fuck it.
Nice! You're like foam, no problem, no problem. Boom, big shield. Nice foam, you fucking red man. Nice foam, easy. 80 hazard protection. Fucking red man. Idiot. Only fucking idiot, man. Oh yeah, let me block this man.
Put your watch on. Yeah, ready?
I like to use foam. Alright, mate, no problem. Oh, here's one.
Yes. He tried to
Lagging.
boom. Ah, I can get in. Ah! I'm coming.
Easy dog shit. Can't even get a manhunt. Can't even get a fucking manhunt.